acoustics. In the next series of videos, I'm going to show you how to construct this baritone ukulele from scratch. I've been a woodworking enthusiast for many years. I built my first guitar about 10 years ago. As I got more involved in the process, I began to understand that with some careful planning and attention to detail, you can build an instrument that looks and sounds great and is fun and easy to play. Before we actually start building the instrument, I want to talk a little about planning. You might ask yourself if it's already predetermined what we're going to build and it's already been built and you're just showing me the steps, then why talk about planning? Well, there's three reasons really. You may want to build another one, and they'll give you some idea what it takes to plan for it. You also might be wondering, do I have the tools and the skills necessary to complete a project like this? And my answer would be, at some level, you do. I'm going to show you how to build this from scratch, and we'll show you how to build the jigs and the forms and the things necessary. But there are things you can do to simplify the process. For example, you could purchase the fingerboard so you wouldn't need to cut the frets, slots, and you could buy a neck, so there would be tools that you would not need access to if you purchased certain parts of the project. In fact, you can even buy a whole kit, and it would come as pieces, and then all you need is the magic glue spreading tool to complete your project. So yeah, at some level you could do this, and I would encourage you to kind of think outside the box and kind of put this on your list of things to do. Last reason is to avoid mistakes. You want to know exactly the material, the tools that you need, and what you want your final product to be like, because mistakes are very frustrating and they can be very costly, and we want this to be a really rewarding experience for you. So that's why I'm going to go into a little bit of detail on how to plan this project. Of course, you're going to need wood, and the wood has a lot to do with the sound of the instrument. The type of wood you use for the body, the type of wood you use for the soundboard. And I won't go into a lot of detail here on that, but there are certain types of wood that will give you a softer sound and one that will give you more of a bright sound. So you have to make those decisions. You also need wood for the fretboard, for the neck, for the bracing, for the bridge, and so you have to think about all those things. You also need tuners. You'll have to decide if you want to put binding around the sides, if you want to put in a rosette or any other decorative material, if you want to put markers on the fretboard. So make sure you consider all that detail before you start. So just to give you an idea, to build from scratch, I had access to a table saw, a bandsaw, a drill press, a belt sander, tabletop belt sander. I also had some smaller power tools, a router, other orbital sanders, and like a Dremel type tool. And so I use those to construct the instrument, also to construct some of the jigs and forms that I needed. So I would say, if this sounds like you, if this sounds like something that's interesting, whether you want to go for a build from scratch, whether you want to purchase some of the components, or whether you want to buy a kit, I would say, if you're interested, go ahead, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified as we complete each step in the process.